Hey bunnies, so for today's iPhone Diaries, we're going to be talking about the Duggar Interview. And if you don't know who the Duggars are, they're the parents from 19 Kids and Counting. Now, they did an interview, not yesterday, I think the day before, or something, either the day before or yesterday, whatever. But I watched the interview last night, and coming from a parent, me, with two boys, I completely understand what they did for Josh and how they did it. Okay, it happened on 3 different occasions to 5 different girls. Now, the first 2 times they handled it in home, which I completely understand. If one of my kids did that, the first thing I would do is I would sit down, I would talk to them, see what's going on in their head, all that good stuff. The second time it happened, that's when, you get stricter. That's when the punishments would come in. The third time it happened, like they said, they sent him off to counseling, which is exactly what I would have done. After he did counseling, they sent him to the police station, the authorities, which is exactly what I would have done. I completely understand that coming, based on me having 2 boys. I completely get that, and I do not blame them, or I do not think what they did was wrong as far as Josh goes. Now, as far as the 5 girls go, I think 4 out of 5 were their daughters. And the third instance happened to their youngest at the time. They did nothing for the girls. They said they gave the girls counseling when Josh came back. But at that point, it's already inside of their heads, And then based on, little snippets of the interviews that I've seen with the girls, they see nothing wrong based on what I've read from what they've said. And that I get completely as well, coming from someone who has gone through that, who has been molested multiple times. I've been molested more times than I'd like to imagine growing up, okay? When Josh did what he did to his sisters, he said they were all asleep. Every time that I was touched, I was asleep. And I remember everything, okay? You will think she's sleeping, but she's not. She feels everything. I felt everything. When they were done, I would just lay there and cry. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I couldn't open up and vent to anybody. And if I did, what would have come of that? That's how I saw it. And I'm pretty sure that's how they're feeling. Okay? And even if, let's say they didn't feel that way, they still should have gotten counseling right off the bat. Okay? Because they're the victims in the situation, not Josh. So I do understand how they went by what they did with Josh. But as far as the girls go, what help did they get? What counseling did they get? And I think that is why I'm so open the way I am about sex and relationships. Like, I want to be that person. Like, one of my many goals is to be that person that you can come to and talk to about anything at all. I want to be a safe haven for young girls out there. I want to educate them as much as possible. It baffles me that maybe because the mom didn't experience that herself, she didn't know, but at the same time, even if he said they were sleeping, and I applaud him for, running to his parents as soon as it happened, because you know that he's 14, 15, he just turned 15 years old. He's a little boy. Most boys out there, that's when they lose their virginity. 14, 15, 16. Okay? That's when they lose their virginity. That's when they're the most curious about what's going on with their bodies and the opposite sex's bodies. I just don't understand why these little girls were not counseled. That's my main issue. Because coming from someone me who experienced it, and I'm at this point right now, I'm comfortable talking about it. I have no issues talking about it because it happened so long ago, so long ago. If you watched my video, my iPhone Diaries yesterday, when I was talking about Caitlyn Jenner, and I mentioned, someone asked me about how I feel about same-sex marriage. The reason why I had that pause or that flashback was because the person who asked me was one of the persons who had molested me. And as soon as I thought about that person, that was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, every time I think about that person, that is the first thing that comes to my mind. And I wish I could forget about everything that happened. I wish I didn't. That's exactly why I'm so surprised that they didn't do more for the little girls, especially since it happened so many times. The first time it happened, yes, they sat down and talked to them, but I promise you there had to be so much more, because if my mom came to me and said, and if she knew what had happened to me at that time, and she came to me and said, Lori, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. I would have been like, yeah, I'm fine. I was sleeping. I didn't know it happened. If I had a professional come and open my mind, I'm pretty sure I would have told them everything. Like, I feel like I would have turned out so differently, which in a sense, maybe, you know, I don't know. It could have turned out good or bad. God knows what he did and why he let certain things happen and why we go through and experience certain things. But I feel like if I had counseling at that age, there are certain things that I would not have done growing up. There are certain people I would not have gotten involved with. I would not have felt that sex was something that, you know, you do whatever, whenever, wherever, with whoever, because it isn't. So if you shouldn't feel pressured into doing anything you don't want to do. And if somebody is touching you, it's not okay. If you're not okay with it, it's not okay. That's my 2 cents on the whole situation. I feel like what they did for Josh, great. Good job as parents. You know, you did what I would have done. You did what any, I think, logical or, you know, loving parent would have done. You talked to him at first, you punished him second, and then you sent him into counseling the 3rd time. That's exactly what I would have done, because I wouldn't, if my soon to be 14-year-old, my oldest is 5. If my son in 10 years goes out and touches a girl and comes to me bawling his eyes out, apologizing and saying, Mommy, I did something wrong. I did something I know I should not have done. At that point, I'm not going to send him into, you know, military school or military camp or whatever, you know, because I feel like he's genuinely sorry. Like, he genuinely knows what he did was wrong. The second time it happened, punishment, whatever punishment I see fits. The 3rd time it happened, and you know what, something really is wrong. Something isn't right with my child. That is when you send them into counseling. But what happens to these girls? How is this slanted? I feel like it's so slanted. I'm sorry. What happens to the little girls? That's it. If you have anything to add, leave it in the comments section. Let's chat about it. iPhone Diaries. Until tomorrow, maybe. Bye.